Hey, what's up, Lightbolt Joe here. Today we are going to discuss Teen Wolf Season 5, Part 1, MTV's original show, Teen Wolf. The Season 5 premiere was June 24th, 2015. 10 episodes for Part 1, 10 episodes for Part 2. It is actually the same story. Well, not the same story. It's just a continued story. So Part 1 is the first half, Part 2 is the second half. Very different as opposed to Part 1 and 3 of Season 3, where we have two totally different stories. This is a continuation. So Part 2 Season 5 is the continuation of Part 1 Season 5. Okay? Alright. We have Cody Christian as a new character of Theo Reagan. He is introduced as this werewolf. He's back in Beacon Hills since being away since he was in 4th grade to join Scott's pack. He heard of a True Alpha. He heard that it was Scott. He had to come. He wants to be a part of Scott's pack. So he says, we're introduced to the Dread Doctors, who are these parascientists, really doctors, who are affiliated, not so much affiliated, but are well-known from Dr. Valak. We know Dr. Valak is in the lower level of Eichen House. Again, we're in Eichen House. Where's Miss Moreau? She's nowhere to be seen. Peter is not in Valak's cell anymore. They're no longer cellmates. As Valak says, my former roommate once said to Lydia at some point. Where's Peter? We know that Chris Argent is still with the Calaveras in Mexico. We know that hunting down Kate Argent, the were-jaguar La Loba, right? No. Excuse me, the Nagul. La Loba, the bone woman, is... No. Yes, La Loba, the bone woman, is Kate Argent's Nagul character, the were-jaguar. The Desert Wolf... Oh, who is La Loba? Okay, I get all my names confused. She is Malia's mom and Peter's ex, technically. So Derek and Braden were staying in Mexico to find the Desert Wolf. Braden comes back at the very end of this part to talk to Malia and say, "Hey, your mom knows you're still alive. She knows your plan to kill her. She's coming to Beacon Hills to kill you." Very interesting. The woman, I can't remember the actress's name. She plays Hermione Lodge in Riverdale. Incredible actress that she is. She is the Bone Woman. She is the Desert Wolf. She's not the Bone Woman. She's the Desert Wolf. She's Malia's mom. Very interesting moving forward for Season 5, Part 2 in regards to the Desert Wolf plot points. So we have that little thing going on. Deaton goes to Russia to get some more backstory on the Dread Doctors, who their symbol is the Ouroboros, the snake that eats itself. But why did they start out in Russia? We don't get a full explanation as of right now. Moving forward, we kind of get some more explanation to it. So the Dread Doctors are in Beacon Hills. There's a lot of different teenagers dying, being experimented on, and they're dying. Supernatural creatures are being experimented on and dying. But their genetic chimeras in themselves, whether they had a skin graft, whether they had a kidney transplant, and so chimera being two different sets of DNA in one body. So the Dread Doctors are experimenting on these genetic chimeras to make supernatural chimeras. So they're changing the laws of the supernatural. So you have this character Hayden, who is Liam's antagonistic interest, but then love interest at the very end of Part 1. They have history going into, 6th grade. They had a fight. Another one of those things where, like, she's been with them, but this is the first time we're seeing them, like, within school-wise. Corey is another character. He's another chimera. Same thing. He's been at Beacon Hills, but, like, this is the first time we're seeing him. Interesting how that's being brought into effect. So, Hayden is this, werewolf mix. Tracy is this werewolf Kanema mix. There's Corey, who can turn invisible. There's this guy, Lucas, who has, like, these scorpion venomous points where he stabs Corey at some point. Cody St. News character of Brett is in this for half a second, maybe like 2 episodes, very quickly. But it's very quick. It's a very quick part. Part 1 is very, very quick. It's just interesting then throwing in the Kanema mix, the Firefox mix of Kira, that the Firefox is now starting to take over. So her parents are taking her away to, deal with that. So we think. But what's the ulterior motive? Why is Theo working with the Dread Doctors? Why is he lying to Sheriff Stolinsky about one thing and telling Scott the truth about another thing, or vice versa? Styles inadvertently killed Donovan via scaffolding after Donovan, the Wendigo, tried to kill him for revenge for his father. Donovan being another chimera, Wendigo chimera. It's interesting throwing all this into effect. Lydia finding out what Parrish's true supernatural nature is. He is a hellhound. He works with the Riders of the Storm. Riders of the Storm mythos is brought in the very beginning of this season with Kira's mom explaining, Riders riding the lightning, coming back to Earth to claim some souls. But those are main antagonists within the first part of season 6. Cool, throwing in that little nod to a future villain, right? But what's very important about this season, and yes, it does go very quick. Yes, we had more character development with Liam. Yes, we have more character development with Mason as well. This part was about being broken, and Melissa says it very, very poignantly. Scott's mom, Melissa. She says maybe we should bend a little before somebody breaks, and she says that to Stilinski as she's filing a fake police report, kind of. And Scott literally says at the end that we lost, and she's going over this thing with him where, it's sometimes leaders lose, but it's a matter of still giving them hope and what happens next. So we're left off on part 1. Scott is beaten, Scott's broken, Theo kills him for 15 minutes. Melissa brings him back to life. And we reveal the truth. Theo is the first successful chimera. He doesn't bleed mercury. He's the successful genetic creation of the Dread Doctors. He's a werewolf and were-coyote hybrid. And he's trying to get Malia to join his side. He's trying to get Void Styles back, kind of a thing. Even though the Nagitsune is not in Styles anymore, he's still trying to get that aggression out. He has the ulterior motive. He's playing both sides of the field, and it's very smart. It's very much like how Peter plays. But Peter's not in this season. No reference of Peter. No reference of Chris. No reference of Kate. These things are not spoken about, and it's fun because they're still doing their other stuff. The world of Teen Wolf is not just in Beacon Hills, as we learned from season 4. It expands to Mexico. It expands to other parts of the globe. As we learn in season 6, we're in London for a hot second with Ethan and Jackson. We'll get to that. But what I really like about this season is that it's about loss. There's so much loss and trying to figure out what happens next. And it reminds me a lot of season 2 of Avatar: The Last Airbender. The very end, when Azula shoots the lightning bolt through his spine and his chakras is destroyed. Aang's chakras destroyed. He can't get into the Avatar state anymore. He has to learn what happens next. What happens next? You might have lost this one battle, but will you lose the war? That's why, moving forward, the very, very last episode of Teen Wolf, season 6 episode, whatever it is, the last episode is called The Wolves of War. You might have lost this battle, but will you lose the war? That's the bigger question. Will you give up the hope of winning the war? Or do you strive through the hope to win that war? What happens next? Very important groundwork moving into season 5, part 2. Theo taking that magic juice from that weird guy in the tube, shooting up some chimeras, claiming his own pack now. Very interesting. The Dread Doctor's smashing the wall, screaming, La Bête, La Bête, La Bête. So who is the beast? La Bête is the beast in French. And why is the Hellhound interacting with La Bête? Why is Lydia now in Eikenhouse? Is it because Theo did the claw thing to get her memories, even though he's not an alpha, so he shouldn't have been able to do it? That's why her mental state is now cahoots. What happens next? Very, very interesting twist on the Teen Wolf storytelling, because what happens next? Of course, where's Miss Moreau and all of this? Morel and all of this? Where's Danny and all of this? Yeah, he graduated, blah, blah, blah. But Keahu Kahuanaway, who's the actor of Danny, he posted during season 5 many of things, right, via Twitter, and he had a picture of this gas mask, and he's like, oh, thanks to a friend or something like that, and all of us were like, yo, is he a Dread Doctor? But he wasn't a Dread Doctor, and we know that moving forward, and we'll talk about it now, but we'll talk about it later as well. So, our hopes were up, but then they were shattered. What happened to Danny? It's okay. Now that I'm binging them again, and I know, things that happened and things that will happen within the characters and this plot points. If my sole main question is what happened to Danny, why did he graduate early, okay, I'll live with it. Things just have to be explained some more. So we're just looking for, why was the Desert Wolf trying to kill Malia in the first place when she was 8, which caused the car accident which killed her adoptive mom, and her younger sister. And what happens next? What's the ulterior motive of Theo coming into effect? What's up with the Dread Doctors? Will they finally be defeated? What happens next? Season 5, Part 1 of Teen Wolf. Epic season that it was. Super bloody, super violent. That supermoon, man. Whew! Destroyed everyone. Destroyed everyone. Just because you lost doesn't mean you have to give up hope. Melissa Ponzio's character of Melissa McCall, absolutely perfect. She is the rock of this show. That's all I got. Mucho mahalo.